All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. Again, a reminder, we are broadcasting not only live here on the 50,000-watt superstation KDWN FM and AM, but we are also streaming live on YouTube. So you get to see our handsome mugs every morning if you so choose. So if you haven't heard about this story, it's a pretty big one. It's a big sandwich, I guess you could say, so to speak. Popeye's Chicken has this new chicken sandwich that is, I guess you could say it's a smash hit, so to speak. And our producer, Jason Stein, is in studio now to give us a little bit of background on how this thing came about, this chicken sandwich. Tell us about it.
Well, here's the long and the short of it, Brian. A couple months back, Popeyes came out with this chicken sandwich. I think they had actually had the chicken sandwich on their menu in some locations, but they rolled it out nationwide. And that was very big news for fans of Popeyes chicken. Chick-fil-A at the same time got wind of Popeyes' new chicken sandwich and put out some kind of tweet about, hey, we're still the best, we're still the original, right? So then a Twitter war ensued between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, which is, of course, good for business, and it drove up demand for this Popeyes chicken sandwich. And so for the last 2-3 months, people have been flocking to Popeyes to get their hands on this chicken. Now, I am told it actually is pretty good, but it also is that factor of, like, I've got to try this thing that everyone's talking about, right? So if you go to Popeyes, from what I understand, to this day, even several months later, there's still a line at Popeyes for people trying to get. And at one point, Popeyes actually ran out of the chicken sandwich because it was so popular. And anyway, you take it from here, but I guess it's leading people. It's so good, it's leading people to kill for it, right?
Well, I'll tell you this. There is one local talk show host. I won't say his name because even if I did, you probably won't know who he is. But a local host in Vegas who does a sports show who went to 5 different Popeyes chicken places just to take pictures and talk about the lines. I guess there's nothing better to do on a Sunday afternoon than do that. Maybe I should try that. I don't know. It sounds like the guy has a very exciting life.
He sounds like a real cool guy.
Yeah, it sounds like a real cool guy to hang out with. Hey, I wonder, like, if he has a girlfriend, which he probably doesn't, but I wonder, like, how that kind of, hey, honey, how about we just go to, like, 5 or 6 different Popeyes in town just so I could take pictures and put it on my social media page?
That's all he did?
Yeah. Yeah.
He just wanted to talk about, look at the Popeyes. This is the location. This one's...
I'll tell you off the air who he is.
Was real busy. This one was less busy.
I'll tell you off the air who he is, but he's very short and very fat. I don't know if that will help at all. But I'm just giving you a description of his body.
Big fan of Popeye's chicken.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But so anyway, yeah, he did that.
Love to see that.
So I'm at a friend's place the other night, and one of his roommates goes to Popeyes. Took him about 20 minutes. He comes back, and I tried this sandwich. I don't like spicy food. It's a little too spicy for me. I can understand why people like it. I think it's the sauce. The sauce is very flavorful, but you can get this type of sandwich almost anywhere. I mean, you could have the same flavor, the same sandwich anywhere else. I enjoy KFC. I like KFC.
So you thought the sandwich was just average?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. It wasn't,
but not.
It wasn't bad.
Didn't knock your socks off.
No, it was okay, but you could get a chicken sandwich like anywhere. JD, have you tried this sandwich?
No, I have not tried the sandwich yet.
I don't think it's very special.
And it's what, $3.99?
Is that what it is? I don't know.
Pretty pricey.
It's not cheap for fast food, right?
Pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's not.
Bit out of my price range.
Look at you. You're sounding very frugal.
I am. I'm extremely frugal. And I'm food frugal.
Oh, I didn't know.
And this is right up my alley.
I didn't know you were frugal.
I haven't tried it, but I have seen the massive outrage over it, and it's it blows my mind.
How much of it is, do you think, that the sandwich is just so delicious, and how much of it is word of mouth and demand? You know, when it's a fad, you know, like everyone wants to have the chicken because they want to say they've had the chicken, right? I mean, it's like, how much, we don't know. I've not tried it. Well, I'm not going to I'm not the kind of person to sit in a line for a chicken sandwich.
Well, we've heard the term before, that's to die for,
Do
right?
they still have it right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They do.
So,
okay.
I've actually had meals with your dad, who enjoys food just as much as anybody. And
what are you saying, Brian?
He's had some food, and I've heard him say as he eats something, "Oh, this is to die for." I've heard him say that. Well, I need to tell your dad that the Popeyes chicken sandwich, literally somebody died over the sandwich. This is not something to joke around about, but this is actually a sandwich, literally, that somebody died for. Let me explain here, okay? It's so good, yeah, someone died. A man online hoping to buy a Popeyes chicken sandwich in Maryland was stabbed to death on Monday. That is what investigators are saying. Now, the fight happened at around 7 p.m. when someone tried to cut into the line, okay? So there's a Popeyes chicken sandwich cutter. He tried to cut in front of the line. This happened in Maryland. Sources are telling Fox 5 DC The battle spilled into the restaurant's parking lot, and that's when cops were involved. And cops arrived. They said they found a man 28 years old with multiple stab wounds who sadly died because of cutting in line, police believe, over a Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Well, you know, people in line are hangry. You know that term, hangry. So, I mean, there's that.
This is horrible.
Plus, you know, you're waiting in that line. It's almost justified. It's almost justified.
It's
right?
almost justified to kill somebody over a sandwich. JD, do you agree with that? Is it almost justified to kill somebody?
Campaign look, I'm shaking his head back there.
It's horrible. Horrible.
No, I do not agree with that. I don't think it's remotely justified. In fact, it's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my entire life.
Stein, you are representing the
Have
Vegas
you tried
take.
the chicken? I don't know.
$4. How long was the
I'm
line?
going to try it, and then I'll come back, and then I'll tell you.
Was he like a few steps away from actually ordering it in line, or was he further towards the back?
I don't have the surveillance video or the
Doesn't
absolute specifics. What we
Right.
do know is that police are saying that this gentleman attempted to cut in line. This guy might have had low blood sugar. Maybe he was a diabetic.
Okay,
Exactly.
possible.
And maybe he was, you know, you never know why he cut
and he
it.
happened to have a shank on him, a diabetic with a shank on him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny.
Not a syringe, a shank.
It reminds me,
makes sense.
I'm a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I remember the scene in Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry David is in line waiting to see a movie, to buy movie tickets, and somebody that appears to be handicapped is walking past the line and, you know, cuts in front and gets the ticket, and nobody really says anything. And then it turns out that the guy was faking it. And it's like a whole to-do with the episode. So it is possible that somebody could fake they're a diabetic, right? Fake low blood sugar to cut in line. I'm the type of person that would do something
Yes,
like that, you know? Yes.
Like Kaiser Sose, Kevin Spacey, and The Usual Suspects.
Yeah, well, we don't want to talk about Kevin Spacey because last I checked, he was molesting boys. So we don't want to talk about Kevin Spacey. He's in hiding right now. Kevin is in hiding. If there was a line to molest kids, sadly, the only person on the planet that might cut the line would be Kevin Spacey.
Now, do you think that if
Yes.
you cut Kevin Spacey in that kid molesting line, that he would stab you?
Well, Kevin Spacey should be cut in certain areas of his body. That's what I think. If we're talking about
I think
cutting.
the guy that just murdered somebody over a $4 sandwich should not be alive either.
Well, yes, I agree with that. You should probably get the electric chair.
No reason to be in society.
Fry him up.
Obviously,
That's fine.
obviously,
Well,
a lot
JD,
of,
maybe he's mentally ill.
A lot of insecurities, a lot of mental issues, a lot of anger management problems.
I'm saying I just understand the anger if you're waiting in line and you're hungry. That's all I'm saying.
Can you imagine how that argument
do
started?
I think you should be on the street? No.
But
Absolutely not.
You could actually relate to that. If you're waiting in line and someone cut you in line and you were very hungry and you had a knife, you would consider.
I wouldn't have a knife.
But hypothetically, if you did, you would consider ending their life over that specific situation.
I might. Yeah, I might.
You would. I'm actually asking. I'm being honest right now.
I might.
You would actually consider that.
Sure.
Would you really? You're being serious?
I don't carry around a shank. That's ridiculous.
But you would think of it, though. The thought would enter your mind of killing somebody.
Don't you? Haven't you ever been behind someone in line that you just wanted to kill?
Hold on a second. Let's back up a couple steps. This is our producer, Jason Stein. You're telling me, Jason, that if somebody cut in front of you in a fast food line, even though you're not carrying a shank on you,
you're right.
The thought of murdering that person would actually enter your mind.
Yeah, like I'm going to kill that person. Sure.
Like you think that their life should not continue because they cut in front of you, and that offended you to the point where they should not breathe again.
That is correct.
All right. Well, I don't really know where to go with that. I think our producer's mentally ill. That's what I think.
I feel like that would be close to a that sounds like a red flag type of situation.
I don't want Jason Stein to ever purchase a gun.
Well, that's why I go through the drive-thru.
All right. So, do you have road rage as well?
No, I used to have road rage. I don't have road rage.
All right, listen, here's the thing. Can I just talk about road rage?
That's very dangerous.
Okay, if someone cuts in front of me.
And I had it. I had road rage.
If
we talked about that.
If somebody
we did discuss it.
I know that. If somebody's driving recklessly and I make a comment, I could kill that guy.
Right.
I don't actually mean I want to kill him. It's a saying, right? It's a saying. But you're actually telling me what goes through your thoughts in your mind is not a saying. You actually are thinking about stabbing someone to death or shooting someone if somebody cuts in front of you in line.
And
that's what is that what you're saying?
And you're hungry. And you're hangry.
The hangry I think is the key factor.
The hangry has to exist for that emotion.
It has to be
let's make sure Stein doesn't suffer from low blood sugar during the show because you might come in here and kill me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, that's a bit much.
You have issues.
I don't own a gun. I don't own a shank.
Good.
Okay, let's say you want to see a movie, right? A movie.
Oh my God.
Well, what's your favorite franchise? Long-term franchise? Star Wars.
Don't think too hard, by the way.
I don't know.
Don't think too hard.
Okay, well, let's say that you wanted to see, say you were a giant Star Wars
What would
fan.
you do? If you were hungry, you're starving, and someone cut in line.
Well, let's open up the phone lines. Let's see what people think.
I'd love to know.
What would you do?
I'm not saying, let's be very clear here. I'm not saying I would kill the person. I probably would say something like, hey.
Right, but the thought would enter your mind. That's very normal.
Well, and see, this is different because at Popeyes.
Let me open up the phone lines.
I'm saying it would anger me a great deal.
Well, that's a very.
That my imagination would probably run wild.
That's a
depending on how hungry I actually was.
To the point of,
that's a very normal
someone
approach,
just not having life anymore.
Because a teenager, well, let me open up the phone lines. What would you do if you were in a fast food line and somebody cut in front of you? Would you have thoughts like our producer of killing that person, or if you're a normal human being, would you just be a little upset and let it go? The number to call.
What about just beating them?
Let me give out
the
number.
What about like beating them with a chain?
Okay, well, let me give out the number. Let's see what our listeners think. The number to call is
definitely assault.
702-257.
That make you feel better?
25. Let me give out the number, you jackasses. 257-5396 is the number to call. I get that number if you want to be a part of the show. 702-257-5396. It's a sad story. Someone in the line at Popeyes was trying to cut in front of the line to get a chicken sandwich. Well, he ended up getting stabbed and killed in the parking lot. It's a horrible story. Our producer just said he's got some anger issues, that if he's in line and he's hungry and somebody cut in front of him, the thought would actually enter his mind of murder. He's not saying he would do it, thank God, but just the thought of it to me is ridiculous. But I want to know what you guys think out there.
Also, I would think that there's probably more to this story as well.
Okay. Well, I think there's more to your story. Let's take some calls. 702.
You got calls coming in here?
702-257-5396. Stay here for a little bit.
Sure.
All right. Why don't we start off this segment with Mike? I believe Mike is calling into the Vegas Take. Mike, what do you think about this? What would you do, Mike, if somebody cut in front of you in a fast food line?
I probably wouldn't make too much big deal of it, but I would say, man, that's pretty rude, dude, but go ahead. God bless you.
So you wouldn't think of hurting that person physically or anything like that? You would just kind of let it go?
Hell no. Heck no. That's the furthest thing from my mind, and I could, too. I could easily hurt somebody, but no, I would have never do that.
Mike, I'm glad to hear that you sound normal because our producer has some issues. Do you think our producer has some anger issues? Give him some advice, please.
Who, Johnny?
No, our producer, Stein. He is in studio right now. He just said he would think of murdering somebody if somebody cut a line at a fast food restaurant. Mike, you sound like a level-headed individual, unlike our producer. Can you please give him some advice?
Yes, everything's on camera now. You would be taped, shared, and ridiculed across the planet within 5-10 seconds.
That's good. That's good advice, Mike. Mike,
when you're hungry, you're not thinking of the consequences.
Mike, we appreciate the phone call.
You got to consider the logistics of the situation, Stein.
Brian, did you guys hear about Amy Roback, the ABC reporter on a hot mic, said that she's been sitting on Epstein evidence with that implicates Bill Clinton and the Prince of England.
This is why we cut our callers short right here.
Mike, I appreciate the phone call.
What he's talking about is that Amy Rohrbach of ABC News.
I know.
Yeah, she supposedly had the story on Epstein that the network killed.
I'll tell you what, Mike, we're going to talk about Epstein tomorrow, so you're welcome to call back. Thank you for the advice to our nut producer. 257-5396. Let's go to Lamont. Lamont, you're next. What would you do if somebody tried to cut you in line at fast food?
Well, it all depends on how they cut in line. If somebody just blatantly walk up in front and just act like, there's no line, then I say, hey, the line starts back there. You know what I mean?
I get that, but I guess obviously...
You wouldn't?
No, I of course I would. I would be a little upset. If somebody
I wouldn't be upset. I would just say, yo, the line starts back there.
And what if he ignored you? Then what would you do?
Then I'd say, yo, homie, the line starts back there.
And what if he didn't respond to you?
Lamont, what would it take to stab this guy? What would he have to do for you to stab him?
Ain't no fast food worth stabbing somebody
That's true.
over.
That's true.
And especially, and you got to think about this, Stein. Every single person in front of you is going to order the Popeye sandwich, right? It's not going to take a long time to prepare this. So, logistically, you're looking at what? An extra 45 seconds, maybe a minute of your time?
I'm saying...
But the principle to you is what the issue is.
I'm saying that's exactly right. There's two things here. A, the combination of being very hungry with low blood sugar and wanting food and needing food.
You guys are nuts.
Coupled with the societal problem of people being rude and cutting in line and thinking they can get away with
All
it.
right, well, here's some...
would make me want to kill somebody. Not that I actually would, or not that I have any means to.
Here's somebody that sides.
Yes, that thought might enter my brain. Now, I would not actually stab this and kill this guy like this guy in Maryland did.
All right, well, that's
a whole other thing.
We got somebody on the line that actually sides with Stein. By the way, the number to call, 257-5396. What would you do if somebody cut in front of you in line, fast food? What would you do? How would you handle that? Let's go to Nathan. Nathan, what do you think about all this? What would you do, Nathan, if somebody cut in front of you?
Oh, man, I'm starving, waiting in line. I'd castrate the guy, have some Rocky Mountain oysters.
He'd cut his balls off.
No, you wouldn't.
That's exactly what he says. The Rocky Mountain oysters are.
Well, that's pretty serious. No, you wouldn't, Nathan.
We should get this guy's number.
Nathan.
Nathan. No.
I may need to report him. I don't know.
Okay, seriously, Nathan. You're in line in a fast food place, and somebody cuts in front of you. What's the first thing that you would do?
Oh, man, you tell me, hey, look, get in the back of the line, you know?
Yeah.
I usually got my kids with me, so I'm not going to act too stupid, you know? But generally, you want to, say, hey, get in the back of the line. Come on, man.
Nathan, let me tell you something, my friend, okay? I would never cut you off in line anywhere because I need my oysters intact and in place because it would hurt my sex life.
But see, you're missing the point. He said this is all about thoughts. This is not about actual actions.
I understand.
The guy in Maryland, he's insane. He stabbed and killed someone over a chicken sandwich. But who's this caller again?
Nathan.
Nathan's point is he would at least, the thought, Nathan, right? I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. The thought would at least enter your mind, I'm going to cut this guy's testicles off.
It's all figurative. Come on, man. It's in the back of your
it's all
mind.
figurative. It's in the back of your mind. That's why it's all. Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Since cutting someone in line is basically on the same plane as castrating someone, I think that's a reasonable response.
That's extremely reasonable.
Yeah,
you cut me in line, now I'm going to cut you.
Right.
Yeah. 257-5396. Why don't we go to Frank? Frank, you're next on the Vegas Take. What would you do in this situation?
Brian, a great topic and very realistic, by the way.
Yeah. Everyday
given
problems.
the fact that I always have my Constitution with me, it's a question of, can I get a libertarian, a Tea Party, a constitutionalist on my jury? Because I'm old.
Speaking of mentally ill,
I'm just gonna bust a cap in you. That's it. That's where it's at. I feel vindicated, but it's going to come down to a jury, and it all depends on who's
Do you
on
think
the jury.
Do you think there are people that would be on juries? Maybe you could get the OJ jury that would say, you know what? I feel for Frank because he would have had to wait in line for another 2 or 3 minutes. So the fact that he just beat the hell out of this guy, it's okay because his blood sugar was low and he was hungry. You actually think there are jurors that would be okay with that?
That is you know what? You missed your calling, Brian. I think your undergraduate degree was law attorney. You're one of those goddamn bottom feeders, Brian.
Bottom feeder. All right. Well, thank you for the call, Frank. I'm glad Frank was able to crack himself up, but I think Frank is one of those people that is mentally ill, and I think maybe we need to help Frank out a little bit. But Frank, I appreciate the phone call. I am still a little bit.
Frank, clearly your mental illness is because you are a victim of your circumstances.
I am still
not because of your own decisions.
Of course. Well,
obviously.
I think our producer. I'm a little concerned about him because of behavior the last couple of days. I got to bring this up. I'm sorry. I got to bring this story up. I have to do it.
Talk about OJ.
No, we want to talk about you for a second. So our nice gentleman who works for us, okay, his name is Campaign, and he does all the photog for us, right? The camera work for us. It's the reason why we are broadcasting live on YouTube right now as we speak. So
Campaign runs our branding team.
So Campaign happens to be African American, okay? Now, I don't notice that, but I think our producer does, but I'll get to that in a second.
I don't notice that.
So our producer walks in studio today. First thing he says to Campaign is, Campaign, you eat that chicken at Popeyes? And
first of all,
and Campaign got upset. He's like, oh, you're saying that because I'm a black man? Is that what you would do? You would just bring that up because I'm black? And they get into this little argument for like a couple minutes, and I actually recorded part of the argument. I think I want to post it on social media because it was very funny to me. Of course, I'm egging him on.
I watched it, and it was actually, I don't think Brian's a very funny guy. I just don't. But that was pretty funny.
You don't think I'm a funny guy?
No, but that was funny.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm going to start. Okay. What do you mean I'm not? You're insulting me? How did this story?
I am not insulting you.
How did this story
I'm
come
just
to
expressing
insulting
my
me?
opinion, Brian.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Okay, now that I've been thoroughly slandered.
Should I be homeless now because I'm offending you?
Should you be homeless? No. If you want to insult Campaign because he's black, go ahead.
No, I'm not.
I don't condone it, and I'm not going to make an excuse that you're mentally ill.
I'm just saying that you are not funny, and that was funny.
I think I'm.
Racism is funny.
How did this start by attacking me?
First things first. First thing I said, "Good morning, campaign." That was the first thing I said to him. All right, and then second of all,
that's the reason that's valid.
Brian and I we were going over the show for the day, and I said, "Here's this chicken story. We should talk about this. It's very interesting." And it's this chicken sandwich. Everyone says it's great. I turned to campaign, and I said, "By the way, have you had the Popeyes chicken sandwich?" That's all I said.
He got a little upset at that.
I was including him in the conversation.
Well, I think he took a little bit of offense to it.
Well, no offense was meant.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we were talking about a tuna...
If someone asked me if I tried a matzo ball soup, I wouldn't fly off the handle.
If we were talking... Okay, let me ask you a question. If we were talking about a tuna sandwich, would that have been the first thing you would have asked campaign?
If it definitely.
Now, campaign, do you agree with that? No, he doesn't.
Now,
campaign thinks I look like a dirty cop.
Campaign, what if he asked you about watching basketball last night because a lot of athletes in the NBA happen to be African American? Would you take offense to that as well?
That's a good question.
That would be offensive.
That's a fair question.
Is that offensive too?
No, that's not offensive.
That's not offensive.
Now,
okay, basketball okay, chicken sandwich not okay.
Chicken sandwich is where it draws the line.
Now, campaign, what if he had asked you if you had eaten watermelon with a spoon before coming to the show? Would that be offensive?
Okay, yes, that would have. Can I speak?
That's not even realistic.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, that would have been offensive.
Okay.
There are certain things you cannot
It's
say.
offensive that you even said it hypothetically.
Yeah, that is.
I'm just asking questions.
JD, you must be mentally ill.
I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to figure out the gauge here.
Wow, you are mentally ill. That was a mentally ill question to ask. We need to get you help. Stretch Sanders, we're going to bring Stretch back in here. He is going to help you. Okay? He needs to help you. Stretch needs to help both of you, actually. How the hell could you think about murdering somebody if they cut you in line at fast food? What's wrong with you?
I don't apologize.
Are you nuts?
Yeah, well.
Are you crazy? What if I cut you off on the street?
I think crazy is cutting in front of someone in line. I think that's crazy. I think that's unbelievable.
Okay, it's a selfish thing to do.
What if I walked in and campaign asked me if I tried to dunk last night a couple of times and I didn't do it, or if I
well, you can't jump though. You can't jump.
If I spent 2 hours in front of watching YouTube trying to teach myself how to break dance. Now, would that be offensive to me?
Or if you shopped at the Gap last night.
Why would that be? I don't get it. The Gap?
It's a stereotypical white thing to do.
Going to the Gap. I don't go to the Gap.
Jimmy campaign. Look, he agrees.
Oh,
Gap,
okay. All right.
Bed Bath & Beyond. Those are white people things, right?
Okay. Well,
stereotypically speaking.
I guess you could say. Okay. I would say that anyone who says anything in the history now, whether it's racist or anything, it must be because you're mentally ill.
You're definitely mentally ill.
We're just going to make that assumption. And so
I'm going to probably be homeless.
And I've been saying this for several years now. It all goes back to the President of the United States. Donald Trump, you are seriously mentally ill and you belong in a mental institution. I will say that
and despite the fact that Brian and Donald Trump, basically have a lot of similarities in their demeanor, Brian is not mentally ill, but Donald Trump is.
We absolutely are not.
Right.
I wish I had a daughter that looked like Donald Trump's daughter. I will give him credit for that. All right, so tomorrow on the show, in-studio guest, Michael Avenatti. We're going to have a lot of fun with him. It's going to be very enjoyable. We're going to get some Republicans to get in the ring with him, debate him as well. We're going to give you updates, of course, on this impeachment inquiry. And we will also talk to you a little bit about the opening day of college basketball, which is tonight with UNLV. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We are going to take a 21-hour break. Your Majesty, Sean Hannity, is coming up next. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great afternoon.